One of the most talked about numbers last night was an exit poll that showed 37% of Republican voters would consider a third party if the choice is between Trump and Hillary, which it's increasingly likely looking like it will be. Josh, do you think they're just saying that because they're pretending there's some unicorn candidate that agrees with them on everything that'll magically appear, or do you think that there's maybe a legitimate third party push that comes out of all this?
Before I would say absolutely it's a unicorn fantasy and that people will hold their nose and vote their party, and that still might happen. But again, the fact that this has been such a year of the political insurgent, it's possible. Like, I could see if someone like Gary Johnson, the Libertarian candidate, who is actually kind of, he's a moron, but he's kind of entertaining to watch. And when people like entertaining outsiders, his response, and I don't know how I know this, but I know that his response when Trump called Cruz a pussy was to come out and say that Trump was a pussy. He was, and like his whole thing, he's trying to go viral, but so, someone who's willing to kind of get down there like that but is a principled kind of guy might have a better year than they would have otherwise. Are they going to get, Ross Perot numbers? Maybe. Are they going to make a real dent? Of course not.
Yeah. I'd like to see that poll done with some names in there because, in the abstract, I'd vote for a third-party candidate. Yeah, that's great.
Right.
But let's run that poll again and just stick in everybody from Gary Johnson to Rand Paul to whoever. And I don't think you'd see those same numbers.
No, I don't think Gary Johnson would get the support, but Eric, do you think that there's someone, presumably they'd be on the center right somewhere, right? Maybe even within the Republican Party. And that doesn't give a shit about the party, maybe someone like Rand Paul, that could jump in and maybe not try to win, but at least, try to make a name for themselves, make a Ross Perot type run and try to appeal to these people who won't vote for Trump and really don't want anything to do with Hillary either.
I don't think so. I think the way it's set up right now, it's how we're going to head into the election with Trump being the leader. I don't know if any of those candidates would really gain anything from trying to disrupt the party at the moment because it's already completely imploding.
Well, we've also been talking about how if Trump runs as a third party or someone from the Republican Party runs as a third party, then that guarantees President Clinton. Josh, is that necessarily true? Does a three-way race guarantee that Clinton the White House?
Yes.
It depends, because again, if it's Bloomberg who's running, no, it guarantees a Trump White House.
I don't mean someone like Bloomberg. I mean someone actually on the right.
Yeah, some true conservative or something like that would absolutely, I think, split the Republican vote to the point where Hillary will have a fairly easy victory in November. But then again, we still don't quite know what a general election Trump would look like. If he's able to somehow reverse himself from being the demagogue fascist that he needs to be to win the GOP primary, if he's able to somehow become your, tough but sassy reality TV star, New York values guy, if he's able to do that without the other shit sticking to him like nothing has this entire election, he might be formidable in a way that we don't expect him to be, if only because he was formidable in the primary in a way. He was formidable in the primary in a way that we absolutely expected him to be, but didn't think it would land with voters. So, his political strategy is not to be sneered at.
I don't think that he will have a hard time positioning himself for the general election as far as policies go, especially considering he already has two positions on pretty much every issue. The problem is that we saw this week, our Principles PAC released this ad. It's called Quotes, and it's just women reading off the horrific shit Donald Trump has said about them. Things like a lot of them on The Apprentice saying you have to treat women like shit. The Megyn Kelly thing, the you look good on your knees. That's just devastating for him to overcome. Well, not even counting just things he said about people like Princess Diana. It's how do you overcome that in the general election when forget what he said.
Well, how does he overcome it now?
Well, because the people voting for him
already said it.
No. The people voting for him now are nowhere close to representative of the general election electorate.
He is what he is, and it doesn't stick to him. I mean, the why of that is worthy of many,
I don't believe that's true. I mean, you say it doesn't stick to him, but we see that he can't get 50% of his own party. And look,
First of all, I love how fired up you are about this, Igor.
We have believed for a very long time the Republican Party is crazy racist, and even they are like, nah, fuck this guy. What were you going to say, Josh?
Well, I was going to say that one of the things that we can't, that it's a fact that we can't sort of discount is the fact that in pretty much all of the primaries, especially the early primaries, there were record turnouts on the Republican side. So with that thinking, Donald Trump didn't get the majority of Republican votes cast. So through no data, I don't have data to back this up, I didn't look into it, but I would bet a day's pay that that a lot of voters that Trump is getting, especially in these open primary states, are not Republicans. So the idea that he can't appeal to, like he's appealing to just the primary Republican base Tea Party crazy vote, is true, but then how do you explain Ted Cruz's support? Because that's who's supporting him. I mean, the people who are supporting Trump are like that group is split, but there's also some just Trump people in there. And on a general election stage, I mean, there's a clip. I'm doing an article about the controversy over a couple male journalists saying, why isn't Hillary Clinton smiling after she won 5 states? And, telling women to smile is not a cool thing to do. So there's like this whole thing about it. And one of the videos that I was looking at in research was a group of women on Fox News just not making fun of Hillary Clinton, but just bashing the idea of sexism itself. And so you have women on Fox News, the most popular cable network in the country, bashing sexism. Those women, that the quotes ad is going to affect people who have morals and feelings and care about how people talk about women, but it's not a death blow. It is not a general election death blow. I mean, and if Trump is able to come out and do that thing where he goes, like, these are the quotes you said, and he goes, first of all, it's not what I said, and I love women, women love me, and then moves on to talking about the fucking wall. Well, there goes Missouri in the general or something like that. So I think to say that'll never happen in this election, we do so at our peril, because this has been a year of blowing up conventional wisdom.